Hey guys, been a while, a real while. When I do these drawings and kind of talk to you guys, I generally don't talk too much about my own life. But I haven't made a video in a while because there's just been a lot of stuff going on. If you follow me on Twitter, you know what I'm talking about. If you're really curious, you can go there and do a deep dive or whatever. But I feel like always said, all we could say at the time, all I've got to say now. And I guess that's it. But anyway, I just want to acknowledge that it's been a while. I don't want people to think that I gave up on this or you guys. Just sometimes life gets intense. So these are, for the Kickstarter, I have some sketches to do. These little 5x7 sketches. I don't even know if I want to do the 5x7s in the future because they're a little too small. The 6x9 is actually a little more comfortable for me to draw. It's slightly bigger, probably better for fans who want art and stuff as well. Yeah, been working on a lot of stuff. Some of it I just also couldn't show. I am doing a little bit more work for DC's Young Justice series, but that's work for hire, so I'm not quite as comfortable showing that stuff so far ahead of solicitations or all of that. I don't know what's spoilery and what isn't, so yeah, so when I'm working on that stuff, I can't really share with you guys. I do have a Patreon where I post stuff that I'm working on in a large like almost wallpaper size or screen paper, wallpaper size resolution. Sometimes I'll put the top secret stuff on there because so far everybody who has contributed to the Patreon has done great in not leaking anything, not even suggesting that they know what I'm working on and stuff. So you can always check that out. It's just $1. I do my Patreon. It's just $1 for the high res stuff. I was trying to do more with Patreon when I first started it, but my workflow, it just ebbs, and there are times where it's really, really heavy and I just can't do anything but the assignments. And there's other times where it's less heavy and I can handle, juggling several things at once. But Patreon, if you're doing it the traditional way, is definitely, like a full-time job. And I realized I wasn't able to keep up, so I just bumped all the tiers down to $1. Yeah, keep it simple. I hope you guys are doing well. Since I last made videos, the only real difference is, we were all dealing with the pandemic stuff and the shut-ins and all that. And it looked like it was going good for a while, and now bouncing back. And I just want to say, whatever your views are out there and stuff, I hope you're safe and you're doing well. I hope we all just keep looking out for each other instead of turning on each other. All the other big social changes going on out there too. I generally don't talk too much about the stuff just because we're all living in such heavy times. And, I'm sure you want just the art. You don't want to hear about my stuff, Let's just have a good time together, talk about art. I'm using my Kuretake pen. It has a different, I don't know why I have, sometimes I've gotten the same pen nib. The Kuretake, Kurat, I don't know. I'll try and post a link if I can remember. Oh, there he is. Kuretake. And I can refill this little well with my own ink. I've gotten different handles on it at different times. I kind of prefer the short black one better, but I've misplaced mine right now. And I just ordered a new one. Did I put it over here? Actually, what I'll do, I'll make a sort of opening video when I open up the new pen that I got. And show you how I fill it and stuff like that. But I love this brush pen. It's so useful. I can ink almost everything with it when I ink traditionally. If I had time, or allowed myself the time, I should say, because you know, I've been used to hustling all my life, that even when I have time, I still kind of blast through things. It's hard for me to learn to just slow down. But point is, I could just ink a whole book with this, even the straight lines, you know, with the right sort of style and touch to it. I think this is basically done. I'm going to add like a slight wash tone to it. Some watercolor kind of thing. Nothing too detailed. This is a sketch. It's not meant to be hyper detailed. I always like the little nicks in armor or plate mail. Just little scratches and stuff. Brings it to life. Same thing with even like her arm coverings and stuff. These little lines. I also try and keep them going along with the form. So the fact that the arm is coming in this shape, when I put a little line here, I don't want to do one that goes kind of opposite of it. I want to go with the shape a little, you know? Go with the form. That's a little sloppy. Let's fix that up. There we go. I might, even before I do the ink wash, go over one more time with the black just to find some more black spotting. I think it needs more weight over here. By weight, well, I'll just do it now so you know what I'm talking about. Like, it kind of looks unfinished there, especially with really simple artwork like mine. Sometimes it's hard to tell when you're using negative space in a good way and when that negative space is actually counterproductive and making things feel unfinished or empty. No, it's not perfect, but that's better than it was. Better than what it was is something that I like. There we go. I started this last night on the couch. Let me see if I can tilt it in the right angle for you guys. There you go. So in total, I have 5 of these Oona sketches, and then there will be 5 Walker and Dina sketches from the latest Kickstarter, which I am upset that I'm behind on fulfilling stuff, but the life stuff has just been kind of big. On top of the stuff that you might have seen on Twitter, there was also a friend of ours who was just going through a crisis, kind of like at the same time at the beginning of all that, and man, it was nuts. It was nuts. Sometimes it's like everything was happening at once these days. I'm sure you're all feeling the same thing in your own life, you know? It's like, okay, I can handle stuff, you know, but all at once? It's 2020 happening in like 1 or 2 months instead of over the year. I don't know. Anyway, in these sketches, it's always kind of hard for me to figure out what I should do in these kind of Kickstarter reward sketches. I'm so used to drawing assigned stories or scenes that have like something's going on, you know, it's in a script, it's part of a story, it's a scenario. But often sketches, for some reason, I just have a hard time thinking of scenarios or poses. Like without the story, I'm just not used to doing as much illustrating, just drawing something. And one of the things that I admire about illustrators are those who can tell a story in a single picture. I guess I've just been too used to telling stories in frames. So sometimes it's these poses, I'm like, all right, yeah, let's just make her look happy. And have this sort of like, I don't know, hand in the front so her arms aren't just down and too boring. It's funny. It's kind of funny how I have a lack of imagination when it comes to single images compared to, say, laying out a page, which is arguably much more complex. But I don't know. Maybe it's not. I really don't know. I don't know how you measure those things. A couple weeks ago, when those stupid arguments came up online about like what's harder or more work, the writing or the art, and it's so subjective, and it's such a dumb argument to even have. But I guess if I was to have an opinion, it's just to show you what it's just a silly argument, which is that like it takes longer to draw something than to write something, but it's harder to write it than it is to draw it. So I don't know if that makes any sense. One is way more time consuming, much more time consuming, the art. Even if you're a slow writer, I can't imagine it takes a month to write a script. Plus you get, well, you don't really get drafts, but when it comes to drawing, it takes longer, but it's easier. No matter how hard it is to draw or how detailed you are as an artist. And I just see the artists and the writers being equal. You're both telling the story. The artist is part writer. The writer is part illustrator, really. Painting pictures in the artist's head, But I also tend to work with friends or people that I know really well, or writers who I deeply respect. So it's easier for me to say. It's easier for me to be a little more diplomatic. I haven't had this kind of bad experiences that a lot of creators have had, because they haven't been as lucky to be able to sort of pick and choose who they work with. So maybe I'm just talking out of my own privilege that, my status at this point has earned me, And I'm appreciative of it. I earned a certain status after 20-something years or whatever, but, that can also make me blind to how other artists and creators are struggling and stuff, which I don't want to do. I want to stay in touch. I don't know. Can you hear the dog? My dog is next to me, and he's snoring as he does. I've gotten questions about, The Powers graphic novel, which is it's just so incredibly late. Something we never thought was going to happen, because we thought we were way ahead on the work and stuff. But, then we started adding to it, and adding to it, and adding to it. And there was complications of pages being done before, and what was already colored, and who'd been paid for what, and the production end of it has been just a huge task, especially the extras that we've been putting into the book, which you'll see when it comes out. And hopefully you'll be like, oh, okay, I get it. I get why it took so long. But yeah, no big secrets, no conspiracies, no weirdness behind the scenes. It's just been difficult. Just because it's such a huge project. And even the production was unlike anything we've done before. Which is just sort of hard to explain, boring behind the scenes kind of details, you know. It's probably overall my best work, probably. Not everything's a home run for sure. Took a little break there. And we're back. I like drawing these sort of fairy kind of creatures and these like vague sort of mayfly shapes. I remember seeing this photographer in the middle of a bunch of mayflies, and the way the light was capturing them and stuff, they literally look like fairies. It's pretty cool. So I tend to draw them that way too. So yeah, I'm gonna try and get back on the video horse. Just get back in the habit of recording things and sharing with you guys. Sorry about the silence. You know, there's been a lot going on. Do these final chainmail details with this is another different Kuretake pen, the Furukochi pen. I like it a lot. It's very brush-like. So I'm going to end it here. Thank you guys for hanging out and coming back and asking me to do more videos and stuff. I'm sorry it's been a little bit. Like I said, I'm going to try and get back into the swing. It's just tricky sometimes. I also realized I need to get a second iPhone thing to record. Buy them pretty cheap used ones, you know, because I like to listen to music while I'm working, even if I'm talking to you guys, but I can't do that because of copyright reasons. So it'd be good to be able to record with one video and then have, or even have a video, you know, phone thing just dedicated to just the video stuff, you know, babbling to myself. Yeah, that's it. I got a couple more to do. You know, maybe I'll shade the watercolor into that, just doing some quick washes at the end. And I can't thank you guys enough for the support you give me, and just being cool, being there, waiting for projects, being patient, and all the support. Thank you very much. Talk soon, guys. Stay safe.